What's going on, my fellow A-plusers? Welcome back once again, Sunday afternoon. So good to see you all here. We just got off of our A-plus hero report earlier on today, but you and myself and Indy, we had to be back to go ahead and talk some Black Widow for you guys today, as the MCU is back in movie theaters, and so are we, to go ahead and have a spoiler discussion and review for you guys today. Good to see you again, Indy.
Man, you always know it's happy to see your handsome face.
Especially when we get to talk Marvel, man. I get to get into our deep and nerdy side a little bit, man. Taking over some of that energy we have from Loki and bringing it here to Black Widow. Should be a good time today, man.
Oh yes, it should be a great time. I'm really looking forward to this, man. As you can see, look, I'm looking forward. I'm ready.
Oh, you got your pop figures? I love it.
Ready.
I love it. Yeah, rub Scarlet on her head for me for good luck. Like a troll doll, like you take it when you go to bingo. Yeah, yeah. That's perfect. I love it. I love it. Well, look, guys, listen, we're going to go ahead and get into Black Widow for you guys today. If you guys have had the opportunity to check it out, please go ahead and certainly let us know your thoughts. Remember, as always, these are just our A-plus opinions, but at the end of the day, we definitely want to go ahead and know yours. So let us know your thoughts about what you thought about this particular movie. Do you agree with us on some things? Do you not? Definitely go ahead and let your thoughts be known in that comment section box below or the live chat, as we are, in fact, going live today, not only over on our YouTube page, but also over on Facebook as well. So hopefully we'll get some stragglers in here to go ahead and have further discussion with us. But Indy, Marvel is back in the MCU, man. Or I should say in the movie theaters. The box office was pretty pleased, to say the least, that it has in fact been back. Fast 9 last week, I think, did about 70 million domestically. Coming in domestically for Black Widow, though, still kind of crushed that and wind up bringing in $80 million at the box office domestically. And you did bring up also that Disney Plus is also doing premiere access. And based off of like Variety and Deadline, they're reporting that this movie, just Disney Plus alone, not even movies, made $60 million. I mean, that's like, I mean, I would never have thought that a Disney Plus movie like that would make almost equivalent what it could have made in the movie theater. So 80 million in the movies, 60 at home with Disney Plus.
Think about it. We went from, what was it, Aladdin or something? It was something we were like, we are not paying to watch that.
Oh yeah.
Or why would we pay?
Mulan.
It was Mulan. We were going back and forth, and I was like, watch. It's some movie that's going to come out that they won't mind spending, because we like to rewatch movies, and you just want to do it from the comfort of your home. We got so conditioned to being at home and not wanting to be around people that we put $60 million out. And that's not necessarily us. That's everybody that has access to buy it on Disney Plus. So I'm just going to say that's worldwide. That's remarkable, and that makes them think that some of this stuff that they're putting out on Premiere Access is worth it to be able to do that, especially with as we talked to Stuart earlier when we were talking, you know, there's a little the theaters are having problems keeping up with what's going on and everybody coming back. I know the theater by me had trouble oversold tickets for capacity or what they had, and had issues and stuff with that. So for me, this was the first Marvel movie that I didn't go to theaters to see. So I paid for the premiere access. I sat at home with, you know what I'm saying, everybody that's on my Disney Plus, and we group watched it. And it was an amazing experience to be able to do that. And I was very happy and satisfied with it, especially since I done put a little bit of money into my setup at home to watch movies. So yeah, I was digging it.
Yeah, that is one thing. While me and the girlfriend certainly did go ahead and check this movie out in theaters, a part of me does wish I had that Disney Premiere access also, because like you said, you get that benefit of having it on replay at the house if you want to right now to watch it over and over again. So money well spent, my friend. Money well spent. So yeah, the movie itself, if you add worldwide altogether right now, globally, this movie has made $218 million so far. That's worldwide. So that's international, domestic, and Disney Plus video on demand, if you want to go ahead and count that also. So together, this movie's made $218 million in the weekend. Yeah, it's doing numbers, man. Doing numbers.
Yeah, and I honestly, I think because of, we're definitely gonna get into it, but getting into how well the movie was put together, because this was a well-written movie. I think people are going to end up either like going ahead and picking up on the Disney Plus, or you will see them people jump out to the matinees after church, or you know what I'm saying, a Saturday with the kids, and they'll be getting together to go see this. And I'm surprised that we didn't see a movement like it was for Wonder Woman. For you know what I'm saying, this movie of people striking out, you know what I'm saying, to go see it, because to me, Black Widow was everything that Wonder Woman 1984 should have been, action wise, script wise, and stuff like that. And I don't think it's getting enough credit for being that female driven with more than just one female character movie. You know what I'm saying, that it really is.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been interested to see. I mean, because of the fact that they didn't really have that same release, I really would have liked to have seen who would have went out to the movies to have seen Wonder Woman if it was released today. So for me, it's a little bit hard to kind of compare the two in regards to that, like what the turnout might have been. Because I mean, the fact alone that it made more in the box office and it still made money on Disney Plus, I think the turnout was certainly fairly great, if you ask me. But again, we haven't seen the HBO Max numbers, I don't think, in regards to Wonder Woman as of yet. So we'll see. I mean, right now, the movie itself, Indy, if you had to score this movie, I am kind of curious as to what grade you would certainly give it. As of right now, regardless if it's critics or audience, it's doing pretty well. If you look at just Rotten Tomatoes, critics wise has it as a 80%. It is certified fresh. I believe audience has it about 92%. And if you even go over to Cinema Score, if you prefer Cinema Score for your audience, they wind up grading this as a A- as well. So it seems as though those that have seen the movie really enjoy it, or at least like it, to say the least. Well, but if you had to grade it based off of what we've seen from Cinema Score and Rotten Tomatoes, where would you grade Black Widow?
I'm at a hard A-. I'm like around that 89 to 91%. You know what I'm saying? Typically not an A, not an A plus. There's some stuff that I would have want done villain wise. I was interested in how they were going to make this movie interesting. That's a weird way to say that.
No, but I get what you mean, though. Yeah. With a lot of things at play as to could you have made this movie interesting or not?
Yeah, with us already knowing what had happened to, you know what I'm saying, Black Widow, but I should have known. We watched plenty of stuff where we knew what happened in the end. Rogue One, you know what I'm saying, the Han Solo movie. Like, we knew where the finish was, but we never knew how certain stories mapped out. And this, for her to clean up that ledger, you know what I'm saying, that she had, and to know that one thing she always felt that made her a bad person was this particular, you know what I'm saying, incident that she had, and why she joined SHIELD and everything that went on, just that made that scene in Endgame that much more important, because you understand why she did it. It was more than just to help her, to help Hawkeye, to help the Avengers, to save the world. She felt like she had a debt that needed to be repaid. So like when you go back and you watch, and I did it on purpose, I went back and I watched that scene in Endgame, that particular scene, and it hit different when I knew more of her backstory on what happened here, because I knew what she sacrificed in order to do that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. The script I thought was pretty strong for the most part, especially in regards to the character development work. So yeah, the fact that she was willing to sacrifice herself in Endgame, especially based off of her past, we clearly come to see exactly what she was referring to here in this movie. So yeah, I definitely understand your grading then for a A-. For me, if anything, I probably am gonna be a little bit harsher on the movie. But not too harsh. If anything, I'll probably go at a B- here. So I'm more where I feel like the critics are at, like a 80, 81 sort of thing, low 80s here. So I would give the movie a B-. I think for me, where maybe some of the struggles might have come from was probably the idea that I wasn't that impressed with the villains here in this movie. You know, the Taskmaster situation, while again, I get the importance of why they changed the character's lore, changed it to kind of fit this narrative. I got to say, man, going into the movie a little bit, maybe my expectations were a little bit too high in regards to that. I wouldn't compare this to, say, the Mandarin swerve in like Iron Man 3. I wouldn't go so far as to say that. Again, I appreciate at least how the Taskmaster reveal worked for Black Widow, but I guess just for me, just not only Taskmaster, but also the guy in charge of the Red Room sort of thing. I just wasn't feeling it as a convincing villain. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, child trafficking is not highly looked upon at all, for very good reason. But I guess I just didn't have that connection or that oomph from a villain, right? Like, not everybody can certainly be a Loki or a Thanos or a Killmonger, to say the least. But for me, I think I was wanting maybe a little bit more from the villains. Outside of that, though, I thought all the character work was really well handled. Getting an opportunity to see Florence and David Harbour, was it Rachel Weisz, Scarlett? They all just really shined in this movie. And for me, the action alone, I thought was pretty stellar, especially the last battle for Black Widow. I thought was pretty entertaining and pretty intense. And then of course even the sequence where that I've butchered in the trailers all the time, of them like hang gliding in the air and fighting in midair. I was like, this looks way too video game-ish for me. Even that actually wind up working, just because of the fact that it really wasn't as long of a sequence as I thought it was certainly going to be. So if anything, yeah, I gave it a solid B-. I enjoyed the movie. Me and the girlfriend both walked out enjoying it. She really enjoyed it as well. If anything, she probably would have given it an A. But yeah, that's some of my reasoning for giving it a B-.
I'm gonna take it like this, and why I cut the villains a little bit of slack is because of how long we've been talking about this Budapest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been talking movies of them talking about Budapest, and like, when are we going to understand what happened in Budapest? The fact that the Budapest event and what happened is what created Taskmaster is honestly what lets me give them slack. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? The one thing I miss is I would have liked to see what Scarlett Johansson's Natasha character relationship was with that little girl. You know what I'm saying? And why she felt that way, or was it just because of the position she was in, and knowing that was, you know what I'm saying, that guy's daughter, and that he 9 to 10 was probably going to use her for something, and knowing that she would be used in the same way she was, because she might have thought, she might have had to herself, which it'd have been an instant character development. She would have went, she saved that girl from a life of tragedy, even though she had to use her, you know what I'm saying, to do that deed. But I would have liked to see some tie, even if they took like a minute out the movie, to show some type of bond between them two and that choice she had to make. Because in all honesty, it wasn't her who pulled the trigger. She just, you know what I'm saying, set the clearance. Yeah. And it was S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I'm saying, that did that. So that's okay. That's an interesting thing to me. And two, it makes the Civil War situation a little different for me, and her flip-flopping sides in that, you know what I'm saying, and her stance. But that to me just made it seem like it just made her life feel a little bit more tragic, and put a little bit more importance on why they chose to do the character like that, instead of my man Tony being there. You know what I'm saying? Which him popping up to me would have just been random. With no ties to, you know what I'm saying, they could, he's a hired assassin, or, you know what I'm saying, he's a hired gun, and like, that's the typical stuff. This to me was more to tie to the story emotionally, especially with, you know what I'm saying, the widows being females and all that. So that was a little bit more interesting to me. But like you said, the finality of it all left you wanting, you know what I'm saying, something a little bit bigger.
I will say, you know, in regards to I feel very much like, while we didn't get that background or that history, if there was a tie with Scarlett and this guy's daughter or not, I think for me, the emotional punch probably felt like it was probably Scarlett, or I should say Natasha, just understanding it. I think she probably felt like she made a very selfish decision. You know, the idea of her wanting to get out of the Red Room so incredibly badly, the fact that she had to sacrifice somebody that was innocent, that didn't need to die or needed to be there in the first place. I do think that she felt that idea of selfishness, of knowing that she still made that decision for herself and not saving an innocent person. So I think that's probably where it gets at. But yeah, I think the one thing that stood out to me is that, yeah, Natasha's life is extremely tragic, man. And it's one of those things where, and it's not as, it's still pretty gray. I love the idea that even though we do see Black Widow as this hero, the fact that she does have so much blood on her ledger and has killed so many people and has made some really difficult and crappy decisions in her life. I can understand why they would want to tackle this particular movie right now for her as a character. But I really love just the message that they really drove home, for me at least, as to how tragic Natasha's life is, and just some of the terrible decisions that she wind up having to make. Like the idea of getting out of the Red Room but not going back for your sister. You know what I mean? Not wanting to look for somebody that you were emotionally connected to and tied to. So she had to make some really like selfish and terrible decisions in her life to turn her back on people that she might have saw as family at some particular point in time. And then the way that she escaped it, I'm sure that's not a past or a truth that she probably even wanted to really tackle. And the fact that she has to confront that and get faced with that, I thought the script was beautiful in showcasing that, especially the moment with Yelena, where she mentions the idea of like, what do you think little girls would think about if the person that they looked up to killed so many people, or something along those lines, right? Like it really put a punch of reality in regards to the idea that here we have this Avenger who is being celebrated as a hero, but man, all of the things that we're discovering about how many terrible decisions and selfish decisions she made, I thought really shined that light on the Black Widow character even more, and I think just adds more depth to her and making me really enjoy the character a little bit more, to understand that she's not just a simple, hey, I'm a good guy. There is a lot of gray area still with her.
Yeah, and the fact that her not being there, thinking she did the deal, and you know what I'm saying, Yelena being a better assassin than what she was, like where Black Widow, she was a great spy. Yelena being a better assassin, knowing that you came back and you didn't even confirm the kill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, you just left me here to go through this, this situation. And if so-and-so doesn't bring me up out of this, I'm still running around committing mass murder for this guy. Then you don't even know we're alive. You know what I'm saying? Type deal.
I will throw this in here, not to say that it's an equivalent, but it gives me vibes of like, Cap, did you know this, Cap? And then you realize that Captain America knew all this time, and you're like, what? Come on, what are you talking about? The fact that Black Widow, like you said, who's supposed to be this master assassin, did you confirm the kill? Did you? Well, no. Oh, what are you doing? What are we doing here, Natasha? Yeah, it crumbles you, man. It shows the humanity in these characters, I think.
Yeah, and just the moment, dog, man, Florence was amazing in this movie.
So, Robert,
from the accent to just you believing she was a little sister that strived, to have family, but she was this killing machine. You know what I'm saying? Like everything about her was a perfect character in this movie. David did an amazing job too.
Yeah, he did. I feel like every scene he was in, you had to watch. You know what I mean? Yeah. He like stole the scene.
He was so annoying though, but it was supposed to be annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like even when they rescued him and he got off the helicopter and the first thing he asked was, "Did Captain America talk about me?"
All his Captain America love, his references, I should say.
Yeah, and it makes you think, well, yeah, Cap was locked up and he said like 80, 81, 82, and you're thinking like, nah, he was still on ice. Was that Isaiah Bradley? Was that somebody? Like you start to think, was that somebody else? Is there a Cap in between Isaiah Bradley? And like your mind just starts running, or like, are we in the right? That right there made me think, are we in the right universe? Is something else like Loki has screwed up every Marvel movie for me ever, because now I'm just thinking about what's going on.
Yeah, if anything, it definitely, I definitely see what you're talking about, man. Like, I feel like Loki has definitely got you on high alert for like every little thing that happens now. Like, you're just thinking yourself, is this a Nexus event? What's happening right here? I get what you mean.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody in this movie did their part.
I agree. I really love Florence Pugh. I've definitely been checking her out for quite some time. So when they announced the idea that she was going to be in the MCU, I thought it was a fantastic casting by them. Honestly, she's an incredible actress. And I've heard really great things about the chemistry that she had with Scarlett Johansson on set when filming this. But when you actually watch the movie, yeah, you can easily see the amazing connection that those two have, just because it does feel very much like older sister, little sister sort of combination between these two, just knowing each other's little secrets sort of thing, just some of the, hearkening back to some of their childhood memories together and things like that. It was really cool to kind of see how they were brought up. And then even the idea of them being separated for such a long time and coming back together, it's almost like they didn't miss a beat at all. So I love them on screen together. And this just confirms for me that hopefully that Yelena Belova will certainly continue to play a bigger role in this movie, especially based off of the post-credit scene that we wind up I was seeing in here also.
I was just finna get into that. That Tomorrow War, that's how you do, you know what I'm saying? What's that called? Cliffhanger. That's how you leave a cliffhanger and leave it alone.
Open for a sequel, yeah.
Because they could have ran for that. That makes Hawkeye like. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I wasn't too hype. I wasn't too hype on Hawkeye. I'm like, I love the character. You know what I'm saying? I love Cliff Martin, but I was like, that's gonna be one of them cool things to watch. We're gonna review it and be looking for things. But he's just budget Arrow. Like he's you know what I'm saying? And so that's what
Stephen Amell would love you right now. Probably hug you for that.
But adding that just in there by having her setting it up, because it's proper. Nobody knows what happened except for the people that were there. So if she's setting it up to have Florence Pugh's Yelena character go after Hawkeye, that is something that I will sit there and watch. I don't care how many episodes y'all have. I want to watch that.
I mean, Florence Pugh, Haley Steinfeld, all in the same television show with Jeremy Renner in the back. Like, wait a minute, this is supposed to be my show, guys. And then all the ladies are just going to take over. But you're absolutely right. Like, if people weren't that thrilled about the idea of like a Hawkeye series, why are we in a Hawkeye series for? This almost makes you now have to watch it, especially if you're going to be interested in Yelena Belova and seeing exactly what's going to be coming together. Because Madam Hydra is behind the curtains, making some magic, putting together a little team, if you will.
Yo, man, tell me every role she's in, she isn't good. Like going back to Seinfeld.
Julia Louise Dreyfus. Yeah,
and it makes me
fantastic.
It makes me wonder if Agent Coulson like hit her up, like, you know what I'm saying? Because they did have that one show they did together where he played her ex-husband. And he probably hit up like, hey, come play with us. Like I'm having the most fun in my life. Like I'm not even, like, I can see him. I'm not even canon in the main MCU, and they keep bringing me back to have me do stuff.
Keep bringing me back.
Like, you need to come over here and play with us. It's a paycheck, and it's the most fun in the world. Plus, you get to see Chris Hemsworth with his shirt off. And she probably just came over there and ran. And she just, from everything from Veep back to Seinfeld, she has killed, yo. She is killed, and she is killing this role. When she walks up to Elena, she looks like the most nervous person I've ever seen in my life. And then she just look at her like, you know, you're not supposed to bother me on my holiday.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And just that whole conversation, like, but yeah, I got something that you want. You know what I'm saying? You want to do? I need a raise. Like, how long has she been working for them?
Yeah, I am kind of curious.
What has she been in the background doing? Like, it blows my mind, yo.
Yeah, when Julia Louise Dreyfus showed up, I mean, I feel very much like she looks like she's just enjoying this role. I mean, even when you see her on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it feels like she's just being herself almost. Like she definitely is having a blast being a part of the MCU. And I think we kind of already expected her to pop up in the Black Widow movie. I think one of the articles that she came out and talked about mentioned the idea that she was going to pop up in Black Widow. Wasn't sure how she would certainly do so. But the fact that, yeah, she has established a past with Yelena. Don't know how long that's certainly been going on for now, but she's clearly not the only person under the payroll of Madam Hydra as of right now, because we also do have U.S. Agent that was just recruited by her also in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I am wondering if that's her second recruitment, because the movie itself was supposed to come out before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but at this point in time, I don't think it really matters.
And the end credit scene is present day. It's present day from where we left off after Endgame. So we don't know if it's present day after Falcon and we don't know exactly, you know what I'm saying, when this happens. After Falcon and the Winter Soldier, before, we just know that she's visiting a grave, and it's a grave that was put in Ohio. So you know that had to be something that Clint did. If Clint had to take that back to Ohio and do it, because he's the only person that knows that much background on her. You know what I'm saying, to do it. And did he notify her family, you know what I'm saying, to let her know what happened?
So, yeah, that's a good point. I would assume that. I guess that I am assuming that was Clint. I mean, maybe it could have been Yelena too. Do you think is that a possibility?
It's a possibility. I don't know, because Yelena looked like she was visiting for the first. You know what I'm saying? That it didn't look like she been there a couple of times. It looked like that was her. It looked like that was her first time there.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right in regards to that. Lloyd in the chat, he says, you need a human element in this. Superheroes took over. The human factor can flesh out so many emotions that sometimes are lost or rushed in a movie full of people that are from other worlds. I will watch, definitely, like Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hawkeye and Yelena are two brutal fighters that won't quit. And I feel like we got to see that from Yelena in here for sure.
Yeah, we definitely got who Yelena is as a character. So that if she's working with the Dark Avengers or the Thunderbolts, we don't know what this is going to turn out to be. You can understand her reasoning for working with them, because if her sister was working with you got to remember, when she's talking to Black Widow going through this movie, she's seen that the Avengers can't even work out when they had disagreements. You know what I'm saying? And everything like that. And then they get back together and her sister dies, not knowing how she died. You know, so that's very interesting to me, that she go, well, I'm not going to go be an Avenger. I go work with somebody else's, you know what I'm saying, trying to do good. She did seem like she wanted to do good. Plus all that stuff that she had going on with them widows. She got a whole army behind her if them ladies are still all around. Taskmaster is still alive. So it's a bunch of pieces in play that could be working under her, because they started following her like she was the leader.
Oh, and, yeah, most definitely. I mean, she's the one that kind of released them from that mind control state that they were definitely in. So yeah, definitely understanding, following Yelena. As far as the human element, the human element, I think, is in this movie more than anything else. You know, he says the idea of superheroes took over. The human factor can flesh out so many emotions that sometimes are lost or rushed in a movie full of people that are from other worlds. Well, this was definitely the case. This was definitely the case where there really wasn't anybody from other worlds here, right? Like this was just a character sort of a breakdown and examination, if you will, just based off of all the human emotion we had to see from Widow. And then just the idea, again, you know, we talked about this on the side, Indy, the idea that one of the aspects that I loved about this movie is that it does feel very much like this is Black Widow sort of tackling the idea of child trafficking. You know what I mean? The idea of snatching up these little girls, selling them or training them to be these sort of Russian assassins and things like that. So there really was sort of a real world element, I felt like, that was connected, that you can really see just tugging at both Yelena along with Natasha, especially when you come to find out that it's your own sister that's being, you know, manipulated and mind controlled and forced to do things that you know, they certainly don't want to do for themselves, sort of thing. So I really do love the human aspect that they showcased in this movie more than anything.
Yeah, the one of the best parts of the movie to me was like the first 20 minutes. Seeing
establishing that family.
Yeah, seeing Natasha with the blue hair, you know, growing out with the red, in a similar style to what it was, and you know what I'm saying, in Endgame. You know, knowing that when you see her in Infinity War, it's not the first time you see her with short hair. Understanding where she got that vest from, you know what I'm saying, that she's wearing.
Oh yeah,
and why she probably went blonde. You know what I'm saying, with her sister being blonde. The influence that come from. Just Natasha as a character was great. Yelena as a character was great. Rachel Weisz, her character, man, was flipping dope.
Who was?
Rachel Weisz.
Oh yeah.
Like, I didn't think we were going to get that much from her, but just seeing how the element of having a family, having that bond was greater than, you know what I'm saying, than the roles they were playing, you know, for whatever they had going on in Russia, because I can understand politics. They really wasn't trying to get too into making Russia look bad. and everything like that. So that was interesting to me. They said Russian, but they never really got behind what was going on. But just the hints at Hydra, the everything that they had going was just crazy, man. Her controlling the pigs.
My girlfriend did say she wanted a pig after watching this movie.
I hope it wasn't after she almost killed the pig.
No, I mean, if anything, we were just like, she's gonna revive it, right? Like, she's gonna save it, isn't she? You know, I'm glad that you brought up also the idea of the first 20 minutes of this movie being a focus on, you know, Natasha and Yelena as young kids and just seeing that family environment sort of thing. One of the things that I don't know if you picked up on, and it wasn't, I didn't realize this until my girlfriend actually pointed it out. The young actress that plays Natasha in the beginning of this, her name is Ever Anderson. She's actually the daughter of the actress Mila Jovovich from Fifth Element and all those other fantastic movies. Was it Resident Evil, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's her daughter, which I didn't realize it at first. But once my girlfriend told me that was her daughter, dude, I can immediately see it on her face. Did you realize that was her?
No, but I feel like here comes another slew of Resident Evil movies we don't want.
But I think she looks just like her mom. Like when you actually look at her, she looks absolutely like her mom. I thought she did a really great job in here as Natasha. So I am expecting more things of her for sure.
Oh, and My Little Ponies are going to be a hot item for Christmas now.
Oh,
just to let you know that they're like they focused in on that My Little Pony for a minute. Like they made sure you saw what he was picking up.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else really impressed me. Yeah, David Harbour. I continue to love that Red Guardian costume, man. That looks pretty sharp. I don't know if I would rock that. Maybe a Halloween costume when you're a cosplay costume for me, my guy. I'm thinking about it.
Her broker for her items that she was procuring he to me shined a little bit, like going to get the planes and stuff, like
her friend.
That was very interesting to me, and I wonder if he has a role to play in the future, like if he starts doing stuff for Yelena or if he's working with Madam Hydra, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. Or
because Homeboy was able to acquire a Quinjet.
Yeah, or maybe because, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with him, maybe that explains how Cap and them got all their tech and stuff that they were getting when they were, you know what I'm saying,
when they were on the run. Yeah,
when they were on the run.
I can see that. If you know, I will say this one thing that it did leave me scratching my head, and I really wish that this was fleshed out a little bit more in this movie, that it wasn't. At the very end, after the base is destroyed and everybody lands, that is coming to the crash site, right? The widows come and save Yelena and the mom and dad, and they go off, and Black Widow's like, I'm gonna stay behind. She stays behind, screen goes black, and then what does it say? Like 2 weeks later or something like that, or a certain amount of weeks later, we see her pop back up again with blonde hair. What happened?
They don't want us to know what happened with General Ross, man.
Like, did she beat everybody's ass and manage to escape?
Nah.
Was she picked up by General Ross and then escaped from like the raft or something? Like, how did she get away?
I don't know, but with the way they had them coming on her, she shouldn't have been able to get away.
That's what I'm saying.
With the way they were souping up. So
if she was trying to get away, why didn't she just leave with her folks?
Did she make a deal? You know what I'm saying? Did Cap show up late? Like, I really want to know what happened.
There's a big hole here. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's bad script or if that's MCU trying to.
Did Loki come and get her?
Oh, is that what it is? Loki's Nexus event pulls her from the timeline, drops her back in with blonde hair 2 weeks later.
Yeah. Or was the blonde R Natasha?
And you know, that's one of the things that I was saying too, and I thought that was the case. And then when I wind up watching Just think if Marvel had given Black Widow a solo film early on. I gotta say, real quick, I will get to Nathan's comment in just a second, but that is one thing that I thought maybe in the post-credit scene they would reveal to us. I was like, wait a minute, is this a Skrull? Is this like a completely different Natasha that we haven't seen before type of thing? Because I mean, she's redhead, all of a sudden she changes her hair to blonde 2 weeks later, or however much time has certainly passed. There is a huge significant chunk of time that we don't know what happens. I'm wondering if this is all part of the MCU plan at some point in time, or if this was a script issue. I have no idea, but it does bring up the question now. If we do get to that point of Secret Invasion and we come to find out that people are in fact Skrulls, let's just put an asterisk next to this moment here, Indy. All right, there's like 2 weeks of this movie time that we need some answers to. So I will be interested. But in regards to Nathan, I have been seeing a lot of people talk about the idea that they should have given her a solo movie early on. I gotta disagree with people, though. I just do. I get the reasoning, but Scarlett Johansson herself has even said that she feels that this is the perfect time for a Black Widow movie, that just based of all the character work that we've had for her over all these movies, I think the idea of going into this solo movie, knowing what we know, I think provides a much bigger impact to us, to where if this movie just came out around Ant-Man time, or like before Age of Ultron or something like that. I just think that the timing of this Black Widow movie, yes, we had to wait a while for it to certainly be here, but I think this timing is actually really perfect for this movie. Maybe I'm wrong though. What do you think, Indy?
I think the Captain Marvel movie coming out first, and Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow movie coming out later, was the right thing to do, especially with the way that they told the story. I think this movie impacted us harder because we saw what Black Widow sacrificed and how she died. So going back and seeing why she made that decision she made, instead of knowing, because I feel like we would have saw this movie.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. Do you think if we had seen it before Endgame, it would have hit you? It would have hit you differently?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have been so sad, because I feel like she would have redeemed herself. It wouldn't have been an impact like, oh my God. I think it hit different because you didn't know why she did it. You looked at it and you was like, she did that for Clint? That dude got a whole family. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about Bruce? What about, you know what I'm saying, Cap, her connection to thing? You understand why she did what she did. And to me, like I said, when I go back and watch it, it makes it hit a little bit harder. If Rita saw this before, would that death have had the same effect on us? Because we would have felt like her story would have went full circle. Doing it this way gives you the same effect of the full circle story, but now it gives you the explanation why. I think the right move was to have a Captain Marvel be the first female solo movie, and this be, you know what I'm saying, after that, because Captain Marvel wouldn't have had the same impact after Infinity War Endgame. To me, you know what I'm saying? You already see how powerful she's going to be. You don't care how powerful she was. Right. You know what I'm saying? With Black Widow, you already know who she is. Let's see why she's like that. So I feel like this was the right play. And to be honest with you, it put a lot, like we talked about with that end credit scene, to put a lot more steam on these next Marvel TV shows coming out. Not only the Hawkeye show, but like you said, Secret Invasion. It puts a lot more questions behind them, and it should make Hawkeye the must-see show this year, just because of them taking somebody directly who just got put in the movie and having her supposedly hunting, you know what I'm saying, what's going on in this show, which I don't see that happening for too long, because I'm pretty sure Clint will be able to explain your sister sacrificed herself. It's too many witnesses with that going on for her to try to track him down and kill him. But
I agree.
But it's going to be interesting how that plays out. And now it made the Hawkeye show a must-watch show for me. I don't think I get the same experience before then. And then you don't get
I
all
see
the
what you're saying.
then you don't get all the cool Budapest jokes going through all the movies.
All the movies.
You know what I'm saying,
that's
before
true.
they die, because then you know what happened in Budapest, and it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah, no, good point. So yeah, I mean, listen, I get the idea why some people certainly think this movie should have happened earlier on, but I'm actually really pleased with the placing of it and the timing of this movie. So yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, especially when it comes to Hawkeye. I mean, for me, there's definitely a couple questions that I still have. Like, I do hope that when it comes to Hawkeye, he explains the whole transition into Ronin a little bit more. How is he handling the idea that he literally killed a bunch of people during this time period? Like, how is he personally handling that? But Hawkeye should have some pretty interesting just characters in and of itself. I mean, they've got clearly Yelena coming back. They got Kate Bishop in there, and they're also going to have the character Echo making their debut in there also as well. So it should be interesting stuff. But yeah, we don't get that hypeness for Hawkeye if this Black Widow movie certainly didn't drop. If anything, if there was another downside, while I enjoyed the action, I probably could have done with maybe one more action piece, though. Honestly, maybe one more action piece somewhere in the middle of this movie. But overall, it was still pretty stellar.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. The action piece on the bridge with her against Taskmaster was excellent. And
okay. See, I didn't mind that one so much. It was okay.
Yeah, and then I thought it was excellent for the pacing because it came out of nowhere. Like it didn't feel like that was gonna happen. It was just the impact of it happening and understanding the significance of her, because we didn't see her see the picture. We saw see the vials and just seeing her flip them out and then meeting Yelena and then throwing the picture down. And then her talking about, well, you're an Avenger, you're the only superhero, you know what I'm saying? And hearing that that conversation, like, I gave it to you so you could take it to one of your friends so you could save everybody. Just her perception of who Natasha is. And you had to leave me for a reason. This is why I'm coming to you, because you're the hero. You had to leave to be a hero. Like, her in her head trying to justify why her sister left her was interesting to me. If you want to break it down on that type of level and get it into it, it's like she had to make a reason for Natasha to leave her to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? And then it all broke down at the table. But the scene at the jail, when they're rescuing Red Guardian, was amazing.
Yeah, I love that.
Even the which is going to be a meme for the rest of the Marvel universe, the poser thing. You're such a poser. Why do you got to always do the pose thing? And the thing, and then she did it. It's like, you're such a poser. Even when she did it herself,
It's such a little sister thing, man. It's such a little sister thing to do. Yeah. I absolutely love it. That's the one. Yeah, definitely. Florence Pugh as Yelena, I thought was absolutely perfect in here, man.
Bro, the boom when she got tired of the friggin' dude in the tower shooting her, and she took out the friggin' rocket launcher and blew it up, and just the boom. You know what I'm saying? Just a little ad-lib. She has so much more charisma than what Black Widow has. You know what I'm saying? She has, like you said, that little sister, I'm gonna do it with a little more flair, you know what I'm saying, type thing. So I'm digging to see if she grew up a little, or if she still has, like, you know what I'm saying, that
kind of childish mentality.
I'm looking forward to that. Or maybe her sister's death makes her get a little bit more serious, because she's already aggressive as ever. So just think just think about how she gets when she gets serious.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I really do hope, like I said, even if we don't necessarily get Scarlett Johansson to ever come back, if she's really put up the mantle of Black Widow and this is her farewell, if we do need another Black Widow in here at some point in time, I'm completely okay with Yelena sort of taking over for the remainder of her MCU run. So I would absolutely love that. Any other last minute things you want to go ahead and touch on or anything like that?
There has to be a reason that Yelena called the Red Guardian the Crimson Dynamo.
I was looking for other. I was looking for other references to the Russian team out there, like Ursa Major, like the Bear Man. I thought maybe for a second when we see Red Guardian wrestling him, I thought arm wrestling everybody. I thought the really big dude. For a second there, I thought maybe they were referencing Ursa Major or whatever his name is, the big old bear.
The thing I like about the Crimson Dynamo is that, you know, they're not doing Stan Lee cameos anymore, right? And I feel like the Crimson Dynamo thing was kind of their way of doing a Stan Lee cameo, because that was a character that Stan Lee and Don Heck made. So it's a nod to me, like saying, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, Stan Lee without having the cameo. But man, that's a big Tony Stark villain. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if
he'll pop up, maybe Ironheart.
And Ironheart, or Armor Wars. So yeah. I'm wondering if it's hinting towards like one of those two.
Yeah, because I don't think you don't. Yeah, you don't think you name drop with the intention of maybe not doing anything with it,
and not in a movie like this. Not in a movie like this. Like that's something that you do in Loki, like with Frog Thor. You don't do that in the Black Widow movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Robert says, I think that was the point of the Red Room history, making sure that there's always a widow. Yeah, there's always going to be a widow out there. I didn't realize there were so many until you see this movie. And I'm like, holy crap, all of them are widows.
Did you see that database and all of them that were popping up, man? Like, I was looking like, look, we don't need a scroll invasion. We need to worry about the widow invasion.
I did love how I don't know, I can't remember if it was in the opening credits or whatever the case may be, where they were showcasing the idea of like Russian spies, like, sneaking in and being part of governments and organizations and stuff, really just showing you how powerful and or where these widows can really find themselves. I thought it was pretty cool how they handled it.
I saw Clinton and Bush, and I was like, I was like, don't bring that back. Those bad memories.
That's funny.
But yeah, they did this very well, man. And I was
impressed.
And I feel if this is Scarlett's last foray on screen in the MCU, because I really believe she's gonna end up like executive producing or directing something, whether it's television or being an executive producer on a movie.
Well, she executive produced this one, and I think that's one of the reasons. She's actually even the one I think that brought in the director, if I'm not mistaken, to go ahead and do this movie. So she definitely was taking a risk in doing that. But yeah, she's making moves for sure.
Yeah, I think she is going to have a big future when it comes to this, because when it comes to the actors who did this, I think Feige trusts like a chosen few. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Taika Waititi trusts him. You know what I'm saying? He definitely trusts Loki, Tommy. And I feel he trusts Scarlett. So I'm curious to see who else he gives that type of power to, you know what I'm saying, to do something, because man, I don't think Yelena is ready for like her own solo stuff. But I could see her being a feature part of a bunch of things, a bunch of moving parts that are going on. And I think that was Scarlett Johansson trying to give, you know what I'm saying, Florence Pugh the best chance she could possibly have to have a future, you know what I'm saying, in the MCU.
Most definitely. They definitely picked Florence Pugh for a reason. She's certainly still young enough, and she's extremely talented and only going to get better as the years go on. So to go ahead and land somebody like a Florence to be involved in the MCU going forward, there's nothing better than having somebody like a Scarlett Johansson to vouch for you, if you will. But yeah, I absolutely love that. If anything, I'm hoping that Yelena eventually will either, I don't know if this is a Thunderbolts team or a Dark Avengers team that Madam Hydra's kind of putting together, but I can see her popping back up in a couple of series here and there, and then eventually being a part of a bigger movie. But yeah, I get what you mean about the idea of nothing solo right now.
Well, to be totally honest with you, man, what if it's neither? It's an amalgamation of both, and she's actually putting together the next Avengers team.
Oh, it's a possibility. New Avengers, West Coast Avengers. There's always a possibility. It doesn't necessarily have to be that particular team, but it definitely gives me those type of vibes. You know what I mean? Of Thunderbolts and Dark Avengers for sure.
That's what I want it to be. But
who knows? Maybe we're getting ourselves a Young Avengers movie. We're still waiting on that. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing all the pieces for it being put together. Now, whether or not that means they're going to give us a movie is something completely different, though. We'll see
what happens.
Yeah, but overall, guys, enjoyable movie to certainly say the least. I kind of make that comparison to like Bourne Identity. I felt like this is what that kind of felt like in regards to it. Great action, great spy espionage film, amazing emotional pull throughout this. I was really a big fan of the script and the human element that is certainly provided. And for me, I think it just continues to elevate the Black Widow character that I've been quite fond of, especially since the Winter Winter Soldier, and now to kind of have this story of hers, I think is a perfect timing and a really great round out for this character. So we'll see what happens going forward. Any last words, Indy, in regards to the movie though?
Nah, other than I don't care how you feel about it. If you can't get to the movies to see this and you're trying to wait to get to the movies, if it's you and your kids, you and your girl, I'm gonna be totally honest with you, it's worth the $29.99 for the premiere access. Just play it and go.
Just play it and go. All right, guys. Well, listen, at the end of the day, guys, these are just simply our A+ opinions, but we definitely want to know yours. What did you think of the Black Widow movie? Impressed? Underwhelmed? Perfect farewell to Black Widow in general? Definitely go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section box below after this particular video airs. But if anything, guys, around here, anytime there's a brand new Marvel movie, we'll definitely keep you posted. We'll have ourselves a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review to have great discussions with you guys each and every time. So definitely go ahead and look forward to that. But other than that, guys, me and Indy will be back later on this Wednesday. We've got the Loki season finale going live Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So certainly join us then. But other than that, man, you give this movie an A-. I give it a B-. You right? A- for you. I give it a B-. Certainly recommended. Solid film. Go out, enjoy it. You'll certainly be pleased. But other than that, guys, that's going to do it for us. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, keep it A+. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Be out.
If you enjoy our content and want to be a part of helping our channel grow, become a patron supporter. We have affordable tiers to choose from that offer a variety of exclusive and early access content, from audio files for all of our shows for you to enjoy on the road, access to our Discord community, and plenty of reactions, reviews, character breakdowns, and more. Check us out at patreon.com/A+opinions. And as always, remember, like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will be notified.